Assalamu alaikum. We're going to be solving October-November 2021, paper 1, variant 2. Here we go. It's supposed to be done in 2 hours. We're going to be dividing it into 2 parts. We're going to be solving question number 1 up till 11 in this one, up to 11, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to be solving question number 12 onwards in the next part, inshallah, if we get our students back. So here we go. The first question asks us to find the square root of 4900. How are we going to go about it? Since the number is pretty big, we're going to divide it into 2 parts. We're going to start off with what method is this?
Division method.
The division method. Usually students know it as the LCM HCF method, but इसको division method कहते हैं. 49 का LCM अगर हमने find करना हो तो we would have done 7 and 7, right? That gives us how much? We make a pair out of it. 7 और 7 में से सिर्फ एक बार आएगा, we get 7, but that's for 49. What are we going to do for 4900?
And we're going to do 100 ka square root.
100 ka square root, we get 10 and 10.
Yes.
What number do we get out of here?
10.
10. So our answer is going to be 7 into 10, which is
70.
70. If you're not comfortable with this, you can do it like this as well. Continue with the number which you think you can handle. So let's say 7. 7 into 700. Then 700 would give us 100. Think of a number here which when multiplied by itself gives us 100. So we're going to go with 10 and 10. अब इसमें सिनेरियो ये होता है कि when you're doing the division method, right, you choose a number, doesn't have to be a prime number, you choose a number जो उसको divide करे. अब यहाँ पे जब आपके सारे division के बाद यहाँ पे 1 आ गए, you're supposed to make groups of 2. Why? Because it's a square root. If it's a cube root, you're going to make groups of 3. So consider it as a square root jail. यहाँ से कि 2 of the numbers plan to get out, 1 of them would have to sacrifice itself. So 2 जाएंगे, only 1 would come out. So 7 comes out from here, and if there's a square root jail over here, only 1 of them would come out, 10 from here. If you multiply this 7 and 10, you will end up with the same number. Whichever method works for you, go with that. We have 5 cubed now. 5 cube is a simple answer. If you're not familiar with cubes, multiply 5 into 5 into 5, or if you know it, it's 125. 5 cube simply means 5 into
5 into 5.
5 into 5. What are we going to do in this question?
We solve the bracket सबसे पहले.
Why is that?
Because of big
The
math.
bracket basically stands for what sign? Multiplication, right?
Yes.
So we're supposed to get done with that first. 7 into negative 5 will give us
Minus 35.
minus 35. Minus 35 minus 8 will. अब यहाँ पे चीज़ एक नोट करनी है कि जब दोनों साइंस नेगेटिव हों, that basically means you're supposed to add them up. तो numbers add होंगे और number add होके क्या आएगा?
43.
43.
35 का लगेगा.
और साइन बेसिकली सेम लगेगा जो दोनों का था. That's negative 43. Can you read out this question out loud, please?
Shade one more small triangle so that the shape has rotational symmetry 43.
Okay. The basic and first and foremost thing that we start off with over here is
we divide 360 by 3 to
हाँ,
get the angle.
हाँ, ज़बरदस्त. तो सबसे पहले हम क्या करेंगे कि हमारे टोटल नंबर ऑफ डिग्रीज इज 360. वी डिवाइड दैट विद 3. ये 3 कहाँ से आया? जिस नंबर ओवर हियर जो ऑर्डर के बाद लिखा होता है. अब बेसिकली व्हाट्स हैपनिंग ओवर हियर, एंड लेट्स होप दिस शेप हेल्प्स मी. ओके, यहाँ पे सेंटर पे आपने सेंटर ऑफ रोटेशन यहाँ पे मेंशन कर देना. दैट्स हियर. तो अगर आपने 90 डिग्री रोटेट करना है, आई विल ट्राई टू जूम इनटू दिस शेप सो दैट माय प्रॉप हेल्प्स मी आउट. अब आपने ये देखो, try to link it. This is 90. 120 is going to be a little more than this somewhere over here.
Yeah.
जब आप इसको रोटेट करोगे, basically that number that we had 120 was telling us कि हमने किस जगह पे इस एंगल को रीलोकेट करना है, इस ट्राइंगल को. इस सेंटर से हमने ज्वाइन कर लिया. That's what we have over here. This is a 90 degree angle. 120 would be a little more than this over here. तो आप ये देखो कि 120 पे an angle is already, a triangle is already shaded. So if I were to link this, it would look something like this. 90 तो कहीं यहाँ होगा, बट हमने 120 जाना, दैट्स लिटिल मोर देन दिस. तो ये देखो, दिस इज ऑलरेडी डन. So this is good to go. And if you repeat the process for the next triangle, take a look here. 90 degree का एंगल कहीं यहाँ है, but we need 120, that's going to be here. So let's erase the 90 वाला angle. This is 120, which the angle that we found a little while ago from here, right? और ये already shaded है. Let's try to go to a triangle. Which one do you think has not been done yet?
I think the one
Bottom left or bottom right?
bottom left, I guess.
Bottom left. Let's try that. I have a feeling that's already done. ये try कर लेते हैं.
Right.
ये try कर लेते हैं. 90 डिग्री का एंगल तो ये बन रहा है, ये देखो.
Mm-hmm.
But we are supposed to go a little more than that. तो 120 कहीं यहाँ होगा.
Yes.
ये देखो 190 से ज़्यादा है. This has not been shaded yet. The question asked us to, where did the question go? The question asked us to shade one more small triangle. तो इस पूरे शेप के अंदर सिर्फ ये ट्राइंगल मिसिंग था कि इसको हम रोटेट करें. It will fit itself onto itself 3 times before it completes a circle. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Key. Write down the name of the solid formed from each net. इस concept को हम net of solid कहते हैं. Net of solid, and net of solid basically means that you are breaking down a 3D object so that you can lay it out flat on the ground. तो ये किस चीज़ को, ये कौन सा कार्टन है, ये किस किस्म का कार्टन है जिसको काट के बिछाया गया ज़मीन पे, तो इट लुक्स लाइक दिस.
A cuboid.
अ क्यूबॉइड. तो इसकी बेस कौन सी हम बेसिकली कह सकते हैं, दिस इज द बेस, दिस इज द रूफ और द सीलिंग, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द वॉल, ये भी वॉल है, और व्हाट विल दिस बी, दिस विल बी द वॉल ऑन द अदर एंड, दिस इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू बी अ वॉल. इफ इट्स अ क्यूबॉइड, लेट्स मेक दैट रियल क्विक. जो उसकी बेस है वो ये रही, और जिसकी सॉरी बेस तो नीचे होनी चाहिए थी, होल्ड ऑन. इसकी बेस जो है दैट्स गोइंग टू बी समवेयर डाउन हियर, द रूफ इज अप हियर, और जो 4 वॉल्स हैं 1 2 and 2 on the back, एक इस तरफ और एक वो पीछे. I hope the arrows are not confusing you over here. Are they making sense?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. ठीक है. What shape is this?
Square-based prism.
Square based pyramid.
Pyramid.
Right. That's correct. Square based pyramid क्यों है? Because हमने सबसे पहले इसको हमने ले लेना है as our base. So if I were to make this shape, this is what it would look like. It's going to be a little difficult to represent it in a 3D form, but ये आपकी base है, and all the 4 triangles are closing in to form a tip. That making sense?
Yeah.
So this is going to be this was a cuboid, and this is going to be
The second one is going to be a square-based pyramid.
square-based pyramid. What's the difference between a pyramid and a prism? आपका जो pyramid है, kind of like the pyramids in Egypt, are supposed to end in a tip, right? It should be a vertex or corner. आपका जो prism है वो kind of like a tunnel, आपकी जो starting पे shape होती है वही जाके end पे होनी चाहिए. तो जहाँ से आप enter हो, it's a semicircle. When you exit the tunnel, it should also be a semicircle. तो यहाँ पे which shape, let me erase this, is the same from the starting till the end?
Triangle.
Triangle. If you pull this flap up and this flap up and close these flaps, you'll be able to notice कि अगर आप यहाँ से shape में enter हो, you're going to be entering from a triangular shape, and then if you exit from this side, it's still going to be a triangle. So I'm going to call it a
Triangular prism.
triangular prism. Triangular prism. Well done. Okay, that gives you an easy 3 marks. Here we have another question. Previous videos में भी आपने शायद देखा हो, I've used an acronym for this. It's called VICA. If you haven't seen it, तो bearings में जाके you can find that. Okay, वो parallel lines का concept होता है. For now, we do not need that. CXG. This is the angle we need to find. We've been given this angle. How can we find the remaining angle?
Angles of a straight line use like here.
Angles of a straight line, they add up to
180.
180. So this angle is gonna be 180 minus
81.
and that gives us
99.
99. Perfect. BCX.
We can use alternative angles.
Alternative
It's
angles.
going to be 53 degrees.
Perfect. अब अगर आप नोट करो तो ये जो alternate angle है, corresponding angle है और interior angle है, these all apply in parallel lines, right?
Yes.
If this angle is 53, this is also going to be
53.
53. Alternate angles are equal, so this gives us the answer as 53. Now we have the question which says find ABX. ABX is this angle up here. What do you think we're going to use?
Interior angle.
I, right? Interior angles. How are which angle is interior to this angle? बिकॉज इंटीरियर एंगल कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग और ऑल्टरनेट हमेशा पेयर्स में चल रहे होते हैं.
46.
46, well done. आपकी ये दो पैरेलल लाइंस हैं, right? And in this case you have a transversal which is going like this. Transversal basically उस लाइन को कहते हैं जो कट कर रही थी पैरेलल लाइन को. तो जो Z शेप यहाँ पे फॉर्म, सॉरी C शेप जो फॉर्म हो रही है, ये उल्टा C जो बन रहा है, ये अंदर वाले एंगल्स इंटीरियर होते हैं, ये वाला और ये वाला. What's the property of interior angles? Are they equal या they're supplementary?
They're supplementary.
They're supplementary. So angle ABX plus what's the other angle?
46.
उसको हम नाम क्या था उसका? F, let's call it FGX, right? That adds up to 180. इसमें से हमें ये पता है कि 46 है.
Sir, don't they add up to 80?
They add up to 180. They're supplementary.
Okay.
So ABX was going to be 180 minus 46, which gives us
134.
134. और आप वो देखो भी सही तो आपको यहाँ से नजर आएगा कि it's an obtuse angle. This is an obtuse angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
The obtuse angle is supposed to be more than 90. 134. We have a question over here, 69 divided by 0.3. अगर इसको इस तरह लिख लें, how can we solve it now? Because since P1 we don't have a calculator.
We have to remove the decimal, so we multiply it by 10.
Multiply this by 10. Multiply this by 10. What do we get?
690 divided by 3.
3. Or 69 divided by 3 gives us how much? 23.
Yes.
और since 0 हमने नहीं introduce किया था, that 0 is going to go up to 230.
Yes.
All right. A very basic question once again, but some students do tend to mess this up. What are we going to do with this first?
Fraction of 911 over
11 over 7.
Yes.
और divide के साइन के साथ क्या करेंगे?
Multiply कर देते हैं.
Multiply into
5 over 3.
5 over 3. That gives us 55 over
21.
21. Now the question says give your answer as a mixed number. What do they mean by a mixed number, and when do we use a mixed number? When
we have an improper fraction.
Improper fraction. Well done. तो हमारा numerator is bigger than the denominator. 55 को अंदर रखोगे, 21 को बाहर, and going to divide it. How many times does 21 go into 55? Probably 2
times.
That gives us 42.
Yes.
What number remains over here?
9, 13.
13 नहीं बनता. 5 minus 2 is 3 and 13.
Yes.
So आप सबसे पहले ये नंबर ऊपर रखते हो. You go in this order. इधर से यहाँ और यहाँ से इधर. So we're going to write 2 whole 13 over 21. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. By writing each number correct to one significant figure के 5 rules होते हैं. They're in D1. If you are not familiar with them, revisit them. Estimate the value of 8230 into 0.64 और 18.7. इसके लिए once again P1 है तो calculator नहीं allowed. 8230 is going to become
8,000.
8,000. 0.64 will be 0.6 and 18.7 would become a
20.
20. Right, sorry. 20. Now why is that? Let me give you a little recap. 1 और 18.7 में सबसे आपका जो पहला significant figure है, that's 1. If you look right next door, you see 8 which is more than 5. तो आप इसमें +1 कर देते हो. And then you ignore every other number that is on the right. So that becomes 20. इसका 0 cancel out कर लेते हैं. Would that help? It
yes.
should. और 2 ones are and 2 400 are. 400 into 0.6 हमारा रह गया. इसका हम इस 400 का एक 0 borrow कर लेते हैं. That will be 40 into 6. That gives us
240.
240. Here we go. Without the use of a calculator, that I think is a pretty good and easy 2 marks that you can get. Question number 8A. If you notice, up till now we've been using very basic concepts, but tricky nonetheless, to score a good number of 20 and 25 marks up till here, at least around 20. Here we go. 0.06 kilometers into meters. What are we going to do? Sorry.
Kilometers into meters is into 1,000.
So basically we're going from bigger unit to smaller, so into 1,000.
Yes.
So 0.06 into 1,000. What do we end up with?
60. I guess.
60 looks like it. 1, 2 and 3. 3 zeros हैं. 3 places move करेंगे 60. 7 meter square into centimeter square.
Because square तो हमारे zeros double हो जाता है.
ठीक है, तो अगर imagine कि हमारा सिर्फ 7 meter into centimeter होता
तो 100 into 100 होता.
into 100 होता. since it's 7 meter square into centimeter square, तो ये 100 के zeros भी double हो गए हैं, तो
10,000.
70,000, right?
Yes.
70,000?
Yes.
Or this is where the questions start to get tricky. Stay focused over here. Write 216 as a product of its prime factors. इसमें क्या method use करते हैं?
Division method.
Division method. Students mostly usually know it as an HCF LCM method, but इसको division method कहा जाता है. 54 we divided by 2, 27. If you continue that, 3, 9, 3, 3, and then 3, 1. Let me squeeze that a little bit so that it's visible. Here we go. As a product of its prime factors, ये क्या होंगे? 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3. इसको 2 cube और 3 cube भी लिखा जा सकता है,
Yes.
right? Any of these two answers will do. इसको index notation भी कहा जाता है. This is technically a product of its prime factors if you leave it exactly like this. The next question says two positive integers are each greater than 25. The lowest common multiple is 216. The highest common factor is 18. Now the numbers seem to be pretty big. 25 से अगर बड़ा है तो कहीं 30 भी हो सकता है, 35 भी हो सकता है. LCM भी इसका is pretty big. The HCF is pretty big. So we're going to form a similar question. We're going to solve a similar question to this with relatively smaller numbers and see if it makes sense. Would you be able to explain?
Sure, sir.
Here we go.
Okay, so we
So
have.
हाँ चलो start.
So the question says we have two positive numbers which are greater than 15. So both of them need to be more than 15.
Okay.
They've given the HCF as 4 and the LCM as 144.
So up till here ये question है कि दो positive numbers हैं greater than 15. उनका HCF when you divide by division method you get 4. LCM is 144. What are we going to do
No,
next?
so we use the division method to get हमारे like उनके factors
Factors निकाल लेते हैं. Perfect हो गया. तो आपने 144 के factors निकाले. You started dividing it with 2, then 2, then 2, and you keep on doing that process until you hit the number
1.
1. Perfect. And फिर
And then हम HCF निकालते हैं जो उन्होंने दिया हुआ है 4.
ठीक है.
So we get 2 and 2.
2 and 2. तो basically अब ये numbers के साथ जो bracket लगी हुई है, what is it representing? Why are these numbers important?
Because both the numbers have the same base. So x and y जो हमारे दो positive integers हैं or the numbers will have the same base.
ठीक है. मतलब है कि ये दोनों numbers दोनों में included होंगे. जो HCF होता है वो दोनों में included होता है. Done. उसके बाद
so we give x and y 2 into 2 because base is going to be the same.
what are these x and y? ये जो
the two numbers.
अच्छा ये जो दो positive numbers हैं.
Yes.
Okay.
So then we cut 2 into 2 from LCM का.
तो हमने ये 2 into 2 जो दोनों में repeat भी हो रहे हैं, we write that down because ये दोनों में exist करेंगे. We cut them out one by one. What are we left with? 2 into 2 and 3 into 3. ये क्या represent कर रहा है?
These are going to be the numbers given to our दोनों positive numbers. But because they've given us two numbers and they've stated कि दो positive numbers हैं, so we'll divide the given numbers 2, 2, 3, 3 into two sets.
अच्छा ये एक सेट बन गया, एक सेट बन गया. नेक्स्ट
Now we will give one set to x and one set to y.
तो ये जो दो नंबर्स फॉर्म करने थे वो यहाँ पे फॉर्म हो रहे हैं.
Yes.
उनकी बेस आपने बिल्ड कर ली है. अब आप ये दो सेट्स हैं, एक इसको दे दोगे एक इसको दे दोगे, मल्टीप्लाई करके हमारे दो नंबर बन जाएंगे. ओके लेट्स कंप्लीट दैट विद द सेम कलर पेन. तो लेट्स गिव 2 and 2 2 इसको, राइट? वुड दैट वर्क? एंड लेट्स गिव 3 into 3 इसको.
Yes sir.
Would that work as well?
Yes sir.
Okay. तो लेट्स फिनिश दिस फर्स्ट. x का क्या नंबर बन जाएगा? 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 is 16, right?
Yes.
And y would become
36. 2 into 2 into 2 is yeah.
So 2 into 2 is 4 and 4 into 9 is 36.
Yeah.
So हमारे दो numbers which should be greater than 15 are 16 and 36, yes. Right? Let's go back to our original question now and try to solve that. Here we go. तो यहाँ पे तो से numbers बड़े हैं. Two positive integers are each greater than 25. The lowest common multiple is 216. The highest common is 18. How are we going to start?
So we can use division method.
Division method once again. So let's start with 18. 2 9s are, 3 3s are, and 3 1s are. 18 के factors लिख लूँ यहाँ पे?
Yes.
18 is going to be 2 into 3 into 3. And the factors of 216 are going to be if we divide it by 2, 108, 254, 27, 3 से divide किया, we get 9, 3 से 3, and then 3 से 1. So 216 के factors are gonna be 2 into 2. Should I combine them or write them separately?
No, write them separately.
All right. How would that help?
Because when we have to give the base, we would have to cut the numbers.
Perfect. So what do I do now? I have the
So now
prime factorization of both of the numbers. What do I do?
So now we have x and y as our numbers.
I'll write that down over here. Since we are supposed to form two positive integers, let's start with x and y. ये हमारे numbers form हो रहे हैं.
Yes.
हमारे पास कौन कौन सा same है?
18, which is the HCF, वो same numbers होंगे.
So should I cut them out from both of them?
Yes.
2, 3 and 3 are gonna get cut out. 2, 3 and 3.
And we'll give 2, 3 and 3 to both the numbers.
To both of these numbers. So we're gonna start off with both of these numbers having 2, 3 and 3. What do we do next?
Okay. So now we know we're left with 2 into 2 into 3.
Okay.
Now we'll divide those three numbers into two sets. One can be 2 into 2 and one can be 3.
Can we just make a set out of just one number?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Now, should I introduce 2 into 2 over here?
Yes.
And 3 just over here?
Yes.
Can you find the numbers?
It would be 72 and...
This is x is 72?
Yes.
And y is?
162, I guess.
162. All right. If you have a calculator, can you check them as well?
Yeah. No, and the second one is 54.
54?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So 54 and 72, those are our two numbers which are both greater than 25. The lowest common multiple is going to be 216 and the highest common factor is going to be 18. Perfect. Perfect. Here we go. I think this is going to be our second last question. We're quickly going to wind it up. अच्छा जी, क्वेश्चन ये कह रहा है describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. Is the shape getting bigger? Is it getting rotated? Is it getting reflected? Or is it getting shifted?
It's just getting shifted.
It's getting shifted. So that's translation.
Yes.
We're going to say it's a translation of how much? It's going a certain number of spaces to the right and certain number of spaces down.
So 4 and minus
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4 and minus 2. Simply what you're supposed to do is write translation of 4 minus 2. Right? The second question is triangle A is mapped onto C by a rotation 90 degree anti-clockwise center 0, 0. So imagine करो कि आपका ये triangle है. It is somehow linked with a rope or anything that you can visualize to 0, 0. तो इसने इस point के बल घूमना है और anti-clockwise जाना है, right? तो मैं इसका कोई एक point को link कर देता हूँ. Here we go. और ये origin से linked है. Let me fix that. Here we are. Anti-clockwise है. Anti-clockwise, so इस डायरेक्शन में जाना है. Where would it end up? अब वो विजुअली करने बैठ जाओ या प्रोट्रैक्टर से, that's gonna take a lot of time. Anti-clockwise का हमारे पास ये रूल है. X, Y के coordinates would become negative YX. Specifically, the center of rotation is 0, 0. Remember that. Center of rotation अगर 0, 0 है तो ये rules apply हो सकते हैं. They are in my video as well. So this is the first point is 3 minus 2, right? अब 3 minus 2 would technically become a minus 2 हम negative YX हो जाए. Let's erase this. That was just an example. हम क्या करते हैं कि y component को पहले लिख देते हैं, उसका साइन भी ऑपोजिट करते हैं. If it's already negative, it will become positive. So it will become 2, 3. So this will end up at 2, 3. ये रहा. What will happen to the other values? Let's take another one. 3, negative 4 will become a 4 and 3.
Yes.
So we've got a 4 and 3. And the last one is ये वाला. That's 2 minus 4. That will become a
4 and 2.
4 and 2. ये रहा. If you notice, जब ये rotate होगा, when it's getting rotated, तो ये जो edge है, ये top पे चला जाएगा. The side which is facing left will be facing down. ठीक है? And what are we going to label this triangle as? Triangle C. question says so. Okay, so अब ये एक enlargement का concept है. By the way, this was the trickiest. Enlargement is relatively easy. Triangle A is mapped onto D by enlargement scale factor 3. 3 का क्या मतलब है?
कि साइज
3 गुना बड़ा हो रहा है, साइज 3 गुना बड़ा है. 5 negative 5 सेंटर ऑफ enlargement है. सेंटर ऑफ enlargement को अगर हम टर्म्स ऑफ फिजिक्स देखें तो we can also call it a light source. ठीक है, here we go, let's erase this. I think I might have, yes I do. The ray is drawn over here so that I don't have to draw it again. 5 negative 5 means I'll drop them over here. अभी हो क्या रहा है कि 5 negative 5 is your center of enlargement. इसको COE मैं कह देता हूँ. Center of enlargement can also be considered as a light source if this is your torch. ठीक है, यहाँ से light rays जा रही हैं. Please make sure when you do it in an exam, do not draw solid lines. They should be dotted. ठीक है, because solid lines mean कि आपके वो somehow या some way it is linked to the original question या आपका official जो last final answer है वो है. Dotted line mean कि आपको help किया है इन्होंने construction ने, but it's not final answer. सेंटर 5 negative 5 है तो यहाँ से लाइट सोर्स है. आपका स्केल फैक्टर 3 गुना, तो ये शेप 3 गुना बड़ी होनी चाहिए. व्हाट इज द लेंथ ऑफ द बेस ऑफ दिस शेप? दिस इज 1. अब 3 गुना बड़ा स्केल फैक्टर वो सेट 3, ये 3 गुना बड़ा यहाँ पे कहाँ पे जाके हो रहा है? यू हैव टू फिगर दैट आउट. इफ यू नोटिस यहाँ पे अभी 1 है, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा 1 से बड़ा है, यहाँ पे कहीं अराउंड 2 है. ओवर हियर वी हैव एन एग्जैक्ट बेस ऑफ लेंथ ऑफ 3. यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक, लेट मी मार्क दैट इन अ डिफरेंट कलर. यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक वी गॉट अ बेस ऑफ 1, 2 and 3. ठीक है, हाउ मच इज हाइट ऑफ द ओरिजिनल शेप? 2. इसको टाइम्स 6 टाइम्स 3 करेंगे तो दैट्स गोना बी 6. इफ यू काउंट फ्रॉम हियर 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. If you join this, and preferably do this with a ruler, do not do it like this in an exam. You supposed to label it
D.
Triangle D. There you have it. That's your triangle D with a scale factor of 3 and center 5 negative 5. Last question G. We're going to be ending this video after this. Here we go. Let me erase this and I'll ask you to read this question. Here we have it, the scale factor, sorry, the scale drawing shows a
garden with 2 trees, P and Q. The scale is 1 centimeter represents 6 meters.
ठीक है, तो ये हमारे गार्डन में 2 trees हैं और very basic drawing. The question asks us, the garden has a path that is equidistant from P and Q. Equidistant from P and Q. Let's, before going into that, when the question says equidistant from one point, what shape do we draw?
Circle.
Well done. When the question says equidistant from 2 points?
Perpendicular bisector.
Perpendicular bisector. And equidistant from a line?
A parallel line. A
parallel line. ये हमारी सबसे पहली वीडियो में दूसरे कंस्ट्रक्शन में हो चुका है. And equidistant from 2 lines?
Angle bisector.
Angle bisector. Well done. तो हमारा इस केस में 2 पॉइंट्स है P and Q. The garden has a path that is equidistant from P and Q. We will draw a perpendicular bisector. How do we do that? With center at P in an arc more than half the length of the line segment. तो आपने center यहाँ पे रखना है कंपास का और arc यहाँ इतनी बड़ी हो, half से बड़ी हो. You're going to draw an arc above and below the line. So a very rough sketch of that would look like something like this. यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे. ठीक है? You're going to pick up the compass center at Q. Now you're going to draw another arc above and below the line. What line? The line which is joining P and Q. That's imaginary though. यूं और यूं. What do you do next?
Middle points join करते हैं.
हाँ, आप इनको points of intersection को you're going to join them. इसको इसके साथ. And make sure कि आपके ये जो lines join कर रहे हो, it should at least go up till the end point of the diagram. We just drew the line that was the perpendicular bisector of PQ. What does a perpendicular bisector mean? Imagine करो कि P से Q अगर line यूं जा रही होती, perpendicular bisector basically cut it into half और 90 degree भी angle होता है. It's perpendicular to the original line and it's cutting it into half. ये doesn't seem like an accurate drawing of it because that's very rough, right? But when you draw it with a pair of compass, it's going to be really exact. Now the second part tells us, what do we have to do? We have been given 2 conditions. She wants to plant a third tree, P और a Q है. Now she wants another tree, but उसकी दो conditions हैं, which are,
It needs to be nearer to Q than to P,
ठीक है,
and it needs to be more than 18 meters from Q.
अच्छा ये तो हम ऑलरेडी टैकल करके आ चुके हैं, पी एंड क्यू से इक्वी डिस्टेंट हमने लाइन बना ली, तो नियर टू क्यू वुड मीन कि उससे ऊपर
तो
हम
उसके
शेड
ऊपर
करेंगे.
आ जाए.
इसका क्या मतलब, मोर देन 18 सेंटीमीटर फ्रॉम क्यू, व्हिच वन ऑफ द फोर सब कैटेगरीज आर अप्लाइंग ओवर हियर, ये वाली.
One
क्यू,
line,
क्यू इज वन
one
पॉइंट, तो वी नीड टू ड्रॉ,
a line which is
तो बेसिकली इट वुड नॉट बी अ लाइन, इट वुड बी अ सर्कल,
circle.
राइट, मोर देन 18 मीटर फ्रॉम क्यू. अब 18 मीटर्स है, 18 मीटर्स की डायमेंशन हम कहाँ पे लिखेंगे,
6 meters के नीचे.
यहाँ पे, और यहाँ पे x, we're gonna cross multiply and we get the answer x is equal to
3.
3. Your circle is gonna be somewhere, something that looks like this. Let's draw that in a different color. Here we go. अब इसका रेडियस कितना होगा, 3 सेंटीमीटर. तो ये किस चीज़ का ड्रॉ करेंगे, विद अ पेयर ऑफ कंपास वी कैन ओपन इट अप टू रेडियस ऑफ 3. और वो कैसे करते हैं वो मैंने दूसरी वीडियो में एक्सप्लेन किया है, डू रिविजिट दैट. यू कैन ड्रॉ अ सर्कल ऑफ रेडियस 3. नाउ द क्वेश्चन आस्क्स अस कि जो हमारा ये दो ट्रीज हैं, तीसरा ट्री कहाँ होना चाहिए,
Q के पास.
क्यू के पास और पी से दूर.
P से दूर.
तो आपका इट्स गोना बी अप हियर, इस ब्लैक लाइन से ऊपर.
Yes.
द सेकंड पार्ट सेज more than 18 centimeter from, oh my, we drew the circle on the wrong center. Hold on, let me take it over there. This is what it would look like. Once again guys, this is not an accurate drawing. If my answer doesn't exactly match yours, don't panic, as long as you understand the concept. Here you go. अब वो कह रहा है जी कि Q के करीब वो P से दूर हो, तो हमने ब्लैक लाइन से ऊपर रहना है, लेकिन Q से कितने सेंटीमीटर, कितने मीटर दूर हो,
3.
नहीं, it was
18
it
meters.
was 18 मीटर दूर. 18 मीटर की जब स्केल ड्राइंग किया तो हमें पता चला 3 सेंटीमीटर दूर हमने मैप पे बनाना है. तो Q के करीब भी हो बट इस सर्कल के अंदर ना आए, तो व्हाट आर वी लेफ्ट विद, दिस पार्ट अप हियर,
Yes.
और कोई और जगह भी होगी,
नीचे वाला.
नीचे वाला, बट अबव दिस लाइन एंड आउट ऑफ दिस सर्कल,
Yes.
right? So we've solved the past paper up till question number 11. I hope it made sense to you. If you still have any question or you did not understand any part, message me, reach me out on Instagram, or throw me a message on the page or the number that I've shared with you. I hope it helps. Khuda Hafiz and take care.